Hi everyone, this is Darvina with Darvina Plays with Scissors, and today we will be featuring our Hallow's Night Magic bundle. This is the stamp set and this is the dies. So if you have a catalog and you want to turn to page 54, you can see the different ways that they use the Hallow's Night Magic bundle. In fact, if you just go back one page, you'll also see another spread right here of how they used it. And today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be casing this photo frame. As you can see right here, this is what I created as my sample. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm telling you, as soon as I saw the silver, I was hooked. I thought I need to make that. So I went ahead and started with just a regular picture frame, just a 5x7. And I got these at Walmart for like $1.46. So they're not very expensive at all. So let's go ahead and get our pieces. I went ahead and cut these pieces out just to make it a little bit faster of a video. But again, the PDF is going to be on my blog that you can download for free, and it will give you all the measurements for all of these projects. There were 2 other projects that are on this blog too. So for all 3 projects, they're in the PDF with all the measurements, and yeah, have fun. So I went ahead and started out cutting these spiders because, as you can see, we've got quite a few different spiders on this frame. So I cut out, I think it was 3 big ones and 3 small ones. Sadly, the small ones do not have corresponding dies, so you have to fussy cut those out. And fussy cutting is not my favorite. But I went ahead and did that ahead of time because I figured you didn't want to see me fussy cutting and complaining. Because I complain. But I do have one spider left that I want to show you how I cut him out. He has the corresponding die right here. And if my nails will let me pick him up. And then I just put him upside down, and the long pieces go up at the top and the smaller pieces are at the bottom. So I just line it up best I can. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I put my top layer on. Oops, I moved it, didn't I? No, it still looks good. Okay. And then I'm going to run it through. Oops, stuff fell. And here is my Black Widow there. So I'll put the die back so I don't lose it. And put these back. And oh, I forgot to mention, this is vellum. I'm sorry, this is the vellum. I got it from Stampin' Up. It's pretty stiff, which is good considering, you know, I'm using a die cutter to cut these out. So I'm going to go ahead and toss that. And you know what? I should mention, I'm sorry I forgot, but I should mention that I inked these with Memento. The first time I inked them, I used StazOn. And I think this was a StazOn one. It was just so inky that it blurred the lines, and it just, I don't know, it just didn't look right. But I like the rest of them because I used Memento. And for whatever reason, it stamped a lot better on the vellum. Also, side note, you have to let this dry. I mean, it takes a long time. I let them dry overnight before I started cutting them out. So just keep that in mind as you're making this. So let me put the spiders aside and let me pull out our pieces. So what I want to do is this 5x7 piece of silver foil, I want to emboss it with the spider webs, with the cobwebs. Now, as you can tell, it's not the right size. It's not the same size. So what I did was I just took half of it, put it in there, folded it over, and then now we're going to run it through our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And normally what I do is when I'm cutting, I use the 1 plate. Let me turn them over. The 1 plate, the 2 plate, and the 3. And then, ignore this 4. And then I usually put the piece of paper, the die, and then I sandwich it between the second 3 plate. And I run it through. Well, for embossing, especially 3D embossing, I'm just going to use the 1 plate. I'm going to lay my folder right here, and then I'm going to top it and sandwich it in with the 4 plate. Just like that. Now, as you can see, when I open up the folder, boom, tons of cobwebs. So now I'm just going to position it a little higher, well, a lot higher actually. And I'm just trying to line the webs up so that they look like they're one cohesive thing. And voila. There we go. And, you know, I'm going to cover it up with our labels anyway, our tags, so you won't be able to see this line when we're done anyway. So let me put this aside. Oops, these two. And what I want to work on next is let's go ahead and do our Happy Halloween, because we're embossing it with white. So let me find a scrap paper. And here we go. And I'm just going to fold it in half because I want it to catch the embossing powder when I'm ready. So now, whenever you emboss, a lot of times the powder will stick to the cardstock even around where you've made your stamped impression. So to avoid that, you want to kind of rub it with a powder. This is called, gosh, I don't know what this one specifically is called, but Stampin' Up used to sell them, and they called it their embossing buddy. But I think if you Google, and unfortunately Stampin' Up doesn't sell it anymore, so I think if you Google, you know, embossing, I don't know, embossing talc or embossing, I don't want to say embossing powder because that's what these are called. But if you Google it, you can find it, and it just goes really well with the embossing powder. So let me, where's my Stampin' block? I am going to stamp the Happy Halloween. As you notice, these are called rubber stamps. I don't know if you know the difference, but there are other stamps that I have that are clear, and those are called photopolymer cling stamps. These are rubber stamps. As intimidating as they look when I first started using them, I actually like them a lot better just because they don't squish when you press down. You can press down as hard as you want and they won't. Well, I guess if you press down really hard, they would squish. But for the most part, they don't squish as much as the cling stamps do. So I don't know why they create rubber stamps versus the cling stamps. I don't know. I like the cling stamps because you can see through them. But these also have a sticker on the back to tell you what you're stamping anyway. So I don't know. Anyway, This is the white crafting ink, and you use it to emboss. And I'm using it so that the white powder will, you know, kind of jump out on top of the white ink instead of a regular clear Versamark ink. So I'm just stamping. You know what? I need to ink it up really well. Just dawned on me I don't have, oh look, I already did. Ah! I'm not using my Stamparatus because I don't know why. Okay, so there we go. Happy Halloween. It's in white. And let me wipe this off before it dries. Although it does take a while to dry because they know you're going to emboss with it. So you need it to be a little bit wet. So now I'm going to open up this paper and I'm just going to sprinkle the powder on it. And as you can see, it didn't go anywhere but the letters because I put the powder on the cardstock first. So now I just use this paper to just put that powder back. Close it up. And then now I need my heat tool. And we plug it in. And then we just heat this up. You know what? Every time I do that, I burn my fingers. So we're going to use my little tweezers. And you'll know when this is done when it gets shiny. And it'll get really white because it melts. There you go. It's starting to melt. You can tell. Perfect. Of course, I can't get it unplugged. Okay, put that away. Okay, now what I'd like to do is let's go ahead and color this tag. I am going to use Pretty Peacock because that matches the color paper we're using. So I'm going to use Pretty Peacock. It's a Stampin' Up marker. I'm going to use the brush side. And I'm just going to color these leaves. And I know it looks dark, but once it dries a little bit lighter. I am starving. I need to go make dinner when this is over. Maybe it's the thought of Halloween candy that's making me hungry. Okay, next I want to use, what did I use? I think I used Blackberry. Did I use Blackberry Bliss? That's real red. I used, this is, you know, I did this last time. Where is it? Cherry Cobbler. Oh my goodness, you guys. What is wrong with me? Oh, I think it was this one. I think I've got it. Yeah, Blackberry Bliss. Okay, so these are the Stampin' Blends markers, and these are specifically meant to blend together. So they also have two sides. They have a brush side and a finer tip side. So that's the side I'm going to use in the dark, just to kind of outline these pieces of the flower that are shadowed. Okay, and then I'm going to take the light and I'm going to take the brush side and just blend them, just color the rest of the flower and blend it together. So there we go. All done. Okay, so that's done. So now let's go ahead and take our spiders. Well, I guess we can do that in a minute. Let's take our label, our tag, and if I'm not mistaken, did I pop that up? I think I did. Yeah, I'm just looking at the frame. I went ahead and popped it up with dimensionals just because I love dimensionals, and the frame kind of flattens it, but it still gives it there's still a little bit of dimension on this piece. So I'm just taking the backing off. Did I already take it off? Oh yeah, I did. Huh. Okay. And then I'm going to place it right here. Try to make it as even as I can with the border. Oh no, come on. Good thing about the dimensionals, they don't stick as strong as the Stampin' Seal Plus. That stuff, you stick it down, you can never get it back up. Okay, so let's go ahead and position that right here. So now we're going to use the Stampin' Seal Plus. And we're going to position it right here. Yeah. Oops. Does that look good? I think so. Because I want to put this label right over where that crease was from the embosser, right? So we're going to put that right there. So we'll put the Stampin' Seal Plus just in the middle. I just want it in the middle. And that looks great. Okay. So now we can go ahead and open our frame. Ooh, that hurt. Take out the little 5x7 sheet, put in our panel and close it back up. Come on, these little things. Oh my goodness, really? Okay, there we go. We'll close it back up. And it looks like that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add our iridescent pearls to our spiders. Give them iridescent bodies. Right there. And you know what? I think it helps better. I'm taking a smaller one from the top. I think it helps them adhere better if we use just a dot of glue, but I am not doing that. And then the little one is his head. This is just for the big spider. The little spiders will take a little one and just put it on their body. Is that side right? Yeah. We'll just put that on their body. And I keep, every time I pull it up, it's trying to let go of the glue. Hey. That's the head because it's the small one. That's the head. And just one more. Oh, man. And there we go. Okay. And then just some big ones for the bodies. Hey, let go. All right. I stuck it to the desk. Okay. Phew. That was a close call. Okay. So those are all done. Whew. Now, did I want to use, yeah, I think I used glue dots. So let's go ahead and start gluing them to the frame. And you can glue them wherever you want. You can glue them however you want, wherever you want, however many you want. I'm sorry, I'm out of frame, aren't I? And I think I did this one there. And I think I grabbed a small one. And I put him, oops, put him right there. And I'm just gluing them right on the glass. So, and this is strictly meant for Halloween, right? So, and it was $1.46. Not that big a deal. Hey, get back here. My spider took off. And one more big one. And finally, our last small one. So there you go. That is our Happy Halloween frame. So I hope you liked it, and I hope you give it a shot. These are all so much fun, and like I said, this was the third project that I did, and we featured the Hallow's Night Magic. So there's so much you can do with this bundle. Yeah, I really loved it. So give it a try, and go ahead and leave comments in my blog. Let me know how it goes for you. And otherwise, I want you to have a great night. I'm going to go grab some dinner. Okay, bye.